lot of the kids that go here are like really type A basically, and throughout their whole lives have had goals set out in front of them. So if you have spent your entire life working really hard and, trying to be at the top of whatever you're doing, and then this company says, okay, this is the prestige you're going to get, this is the next goal for you. I think there's like a lot of draw for high achieving students to kind of pursue that.
A lot of students at prestigious U.S. universities are used to being impressive. When they were in elementary school, they were really good students and got used to seeing a lot of gold stars on their papers. Then they got to high school and they kept excelling. They took all of the honors and AP classes because they could, and they could get good grades in them. And then when they were applying to college, they thought, why not? Harvard, Yale, Georgetown, Boston College. I know because I was one of these overly ambitious high schoolers who ended up at a really good college. And now, in a few short months, college is ending, and these seniors are being pushed out into the big wide world of life and adulthood. And suddenly things that seemed so far away their whole lives are right in front of them, like having a career and making an impact on the world and getting a salary and paying for bills. And for a lot of students who are used to getting it all right, it's a lot of pressure. For once in their lives, there's no clear next step.
This is Ryan.
I'm Morgan Peterson.
My name's Jack Churchill.
I'm Aletha. I'm from Orlando, Florida, and I'm 21.
I spoke to a few seniors at Georgetown University about how they're feeling about applying to jobs and choosing a career path after graduation.
So at the moment, I'm applying to a couple different fellowships. So I think I will find myself like in the NGO space.
That's 23-year-old Jack Churchill. He said that growing up on a farm inspired him to work on broader issues of food insecurity in his career. I also spoke with Morgan Peterson. She's 22 and she's an economics and justice and peace studies double major.
I think as I approach graduation, I think a couple qualities that I'm definitely looking for in a job, the primary one being that I need to feel like my work matters and that I'm making a difference and having an impact in people's lives. So I'm definitely going to limit my job search to the social impact sector.
All of these kids are really smart and have a lot of thoughtful things to express about what they want in a job and how they want to impact the world. But they were also really stressed about finding something that would pay them enough, about squandering their potential and their degree, about someday wanting to achieve something that garnered recognition from friends and family. This pressure is magnified by the huge presence on these college campuses of prestigious pre-professional fields like banking and consulting. They're huge buzzwords on Georgetown's campus, as they are on a lot of others. In 2017, nearly 40% of Harvard graduates took consulting or finance jobs, and that statistic remains equal or higher across other quote-unquote top universities. Most of these graduates end up with really high-paying jobs at so-called top firms. And some of the Georgetown seniors I spoke to were on this exact path. How's your day been?
My day's been great so far. Just had class, so I'm glad to be done. Mondays are always long. So my name is Ryan Farrell. I'm 22 years old. I am a senior at Georgetown in the School of Foreign Service studying science, technology, and international affairs. And I'm originally from Des Moines, Iowa. I found out about Deloitte and originally had no idea what they did. And then I thought it was cool because like they do kind of like the intersection of what I was already doing with like taking, like business-minded people or like-minded people and then having them like apply solutions to the public sector. And so I thought it was kind of a perfect match in the end.
21-year-old Aletha Garnett is also working for Deloitte next year. What do you think pushed you towards or led you to making the decision to do consulting recruiting?
So I was honestly pretty anti-consulting for a long time because it felt like one of those things that you just do to do, and I just didn't really like the idea of that. But then when I actually learned about what consulting is, getting to work with a bunch of different companies and groups in different industries and applying various perspectives and ways of thinking and solving problems to different situations. I thought it was so interesting and something that I wouldn't really be able to do in any other field. So I was turned around pretty quick.
And for students who feel drawn to that work, it's awesome. They get a ton of support from alumni and the Career Center and go through this really early recruiting process. These jobs are a great option for a lot of students. But why are students who know they don't want them feeling constant stress about the fact that they don't?
I would say like most people I know are on that path, and most of my friends as well. So I definitely felt the pressure, not necessarily from people being like, you need to do this, or you're wasting your time if you don't, make a lot of money, or, get that XYZ consulting job. I don't think the pressure is direct like that. I think it's more just you see your friends getting jobs, or prepping for interviews, or having the case in point book that I've seen on every Georgetown kid's like coffee table. And I think the pressure comes more from that, and it's like an unspoken thing, which I think is even harder to deal with, because it's just like so ingrained in how Georgetown seniors go about the job search.
Yeah, I mean, I've debated it so many times. I feel like I've finally kind of come to peace with it, but especially just like being on LinkedIn and seeing everyone already have these high-paying jobs secured in these awesome cities, and it's really easy to get influenced and be like, why am I following this very unclear path and trajectory when I know if I put the time into doing case interviews, I probably could be an analyst at one of these top firms, having a very like luxurious life with a straightforward trajectory. But instead I'm taking this path, which is a lot less clear, and is bringing a lot more stress and uncertainty to my life.
Some people refer to it as the prestige career trap. Landing one of these jobs is seen as the pinnacle of a status culture in which these college seniors have been immersed their whole lives. And during a senior year where students are stressed about not fulfilling their potential, consulting becomes a career that keeps their options open, gives them new skills, boosts their resume, pays them handsomely, and is something that earns nods of approval from adults and classmates.
I think a lot of it is social pressure and just like the way that these like elite universities have deemed what success is, have just like become these name brand firms, and like the like culture that comes along with like LinkedIn and all of that too, like contributes to it, because even like there is like a very niche like amount of jobs in like the social impact sector that have like gotten that rap, like whether it's like Peace Corps or Fulbright or stuff like that still like is successful and like people will look upon really highly. So I don't think it is just like a financial factor. I think it's just like this like socially constructed like view of what these elite universities have deemed to be success.
Where you're going up the chain of success, and until you hit senior year of college, it is always clear what the next stage of success looks like, and you can get people buying into that. Suddenly, when you hit senior year, it's unclear what that is, or maybe it's sort of clear what that is, and those things have defined success as well-known big firms that people have heard of, and knowing early. There's a lot of pressure, as I'm sure you're experiencing, where people are going to ask you at Thanksgiving and over the holidays, what are you planning to do after you graduate? And saying, I don't know, leaves you feeling insecure or uncertain.
That's Phil Deering, the co-founder of Second Day, an organization that tries to support students in pursuing the right job for them after graduation. Their focus is on the social impact sector, which are typically jobs with nonprofits or NGOs. So, what can be done to take the pressure off students and help them make the right career choice for them?
For like schools themselves, as much as we can, I guess this is even like governmental policy, like lessening student debt is a huge thing. So people feel like they have more options. I think having greater investment in career exploration and helping people to start thinking about these challenges. I think a lot of times universities right now, career centers, because they're under-resourced, it's not that they have malintent, don't have enough energy on sort of showing people what else is out there.
It's time to take the pressure off of students to choose what their schools have deemed as prestigious careers and stop pushing them towards achieving some narrow definition of success. Because whether it's consulting, banking, nonprofit work, journalism, government, healthcare, it's clear these students have a lot of unique skills and perspectives to offer.